Before I begin, I just want to emphasize that recruitment is a community effort, and every constituent group on this campus is involved in that effort. And we have several members of the faculty that are with us today that took time out of their days during our official visits to sit and visit with prospects and their families and go over the academic programs that we offer here at the university. And I want to especially thank you for that time and for your cooperation in making our recruitment effort successful. We also have I want to thank the members of the admissions and financial aid offices who work with us on a daily basis throughout the recruitment period, and also the Office of Residential Life, our sports medicine group, and certainly the Office of Student Athlete Development, who we work with from every aspect, from initial eligibility to compliance to issuing the NLIs and getting everything out to the players in time so that they can sign. And it's a great collaborative effort by everybody here, and I just want to offer our sincere thanks on behalf of the football staff. I want to start with a few comments about this class, and then I'll actually announce the players that I think make up this fine class. This is one of our largest recruitment classes in recent history. We have 20 players that signed NLIs this morning, and in doing so, we were able to satisfy several needs. First of all, we wanted to improve our depth across the board, and hence you have the large number of signees. But secondly, we had some specific positional needs that I think we met those needs while adding some desired depth. One of the most important or critical areas in this class to our staff was the area of the defensive secondary, and as you can see, we signed 5 players in that position. The class has good balance. We have 10 on the offensive side, 10 on the defensive side, and I really need to applaud the work of our coaching staff, who really worked diligently starting about this time last year when we began putting this class together. Many of the members of this most recent class attended our summer camps and gave our coaches a first-hand opportunity to work with them throughout the process, and our camp has become a very integral part of the recruitment and evaluation process. Again, I said our coaching staff and that effort was headed up by Brian Gabriel, our recruiting coordinator, really did an extremely good job of putting this class together. Finally, I'd like to add that this class academically is one of our best in recent history. They average a 3.3 cumulative high school GPA for all 20 of the guys, and they average a 1,600 on the 3-score SAT. So that certainly falls in line with what we as a university are recruiting, and it reflects the type of young men that we are bringing into the university here. At this time, I'd just like to go through the members of this class, and when I'm finished with that, I'll certainly entertain any questions that may exist out there. And I'll just go in alphabetical order here. First, we have Darren Ambush, who's a wide receiver from Dickerson, Maryland. He's 5'8", he's 165. He's a fast, elusive type receiver. We plan to use him as an inside or slot receiver. He's got great quickness, and he's also an excellent kick returner, and we look for him to be able to contribute in that area early as well. Brandon Anthony is a linebacker from Columbia, Maryland. He's 6'2", 190 pounds. He's a very athletic player who could help us either as a strong safety or as an outside linebacker. He's got good quickness, it runs very well. He was a player that was heavily involved with the many Patriot League schools that we beat out for him. Cash Blyer, you gotta like that name. Cash Blyer is a tight end from Victor, New York, up near the Rochester area. He's 6'4", 215. He's a very athletic tight end, excellent in the pass game, runs good routes, good hands, and turned down the University of Maine to come to Monmouth. Eli Brown is a pass rushing defensive end from Bladensburg, Maryland. He's 6'4", 225 pounds. He's very explosive. He's one of those guys who's excellent coming off the edge of the defense and putting pressure on the quarterbacks. Kevin Butler is a strong safety from here in New Jersey at Piscataway High School. He's 5'11", 190 pounds. He's a very aggressive, physical, downhill player. He's the type of guy that's a blur on the screen that chases people down. He's a very ferocious hitter, very impressive at our camp here last summer. Matt Choi is another receiver out of Gaithersburg, Maryland. At 6'1", 180 pounds, he runs great routes. He's very polished for a receiver. He's got good hands, and he's a very, very tough competitor, and he demonstrated that again at our camp last summer when we had the opportunity to work with him. Lakeitha Celestine is a cornerback from Brooklyn, New York. He played at Holy Cross High School. He's big for a corner, 6'1", 175 pounds. He could probably play either the corner or safety positions. He's got excellent speed, he's aggressive, and he's good with his hands, meaning when he plays in press coverage, he really disrupts the offensive receiver's routes. Lavon Cheney is a running back from Edgewater, Maryland, played at South River High School. He's 5'9", 185 pounds. He's got great vision and speed, very quick feet. He's able to find the crease in the defense, and he has the speed and acceleration to run away from defenders. Kamal Dumas is a cornerback from Morristown High School, again here in New Jersey, at 5'9", 170 pounds. He's another player that has very quick feet. He's good in the transition. He drives on the ball very well, yet he's very physical in the run game for his size. Dominic Esposito is one of the 3 offensive linemen that we brought in this year from Springfield, Virginia, played at West Springfield High School. He'll come in at 6'3", 305 pounds. He's very strong. He has good feet. He plays with a good motor, which means he's always going, he's always working hard. He's another guy that we really liked when we worked with him at our summer camp. Gabe Hemminghouse is a tight end from Bridgeton, New Jersey. At 6'3", 240 pounds. He's just an excellent run blocker, extremely effective at the point of attack. He's very strong, he plays very hard, yet he has demonstrated the ability to be effective in the pass game. Manny Machado is a defensive lineman from Freehold, New Jersey, played at Freehold Township High School. He's 6'5", 235 pounds, and we think he's the type of guy that will play in one of the inside or tackle positions for us. We think that he's got a frame that he can fill out, and he's a very physical player, and that's why we're projecting him as at an inside position. Teddy Martinez is another defensive back from Baltimore, Maryland. At 6 foot, 190 pounds, we project him as a safety. He's an athletic player who's a very, very good tackler. He's got very good speed and good range and shows the ability to chase people down. J.P. McManus, another one of our offensive linemen from Phoenix, Maryland, at 6'5", 280 pounds. He's an excellent run blocker. He has good feet, and he's very good in pass protection. Madison Miller is a linebacker from Sinking Spring, Pennsylvania, which for anybody that's interested in the geography, it's right out near Reading, Pennsylvania. He's 6'3", 225 pounds. He's a very physical downhill linebacker who has good feet and really impressed with his change of direction. Peyton Minich, another linebacker out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, played at Central Dauphin High School. 6'2", 230 pounds, very physical, athletic outside linebacker who showed the ability to rush the passer as well. He's somebody that we think we can use not only as a linebacker but also in pass rushing situations. Javon Moore is a defensive back from New Haven, Connecticut, played at the Hill House School. He's 5'9", 165 pounds. Very quick feet, he accelerates very well, and for his size, he's an extremely good tackler. We're projecting him to play at the corner position. Matt Stoneberg is an offensive lineman out of Blyer, Maryland. At 6'4", 280 pounds. He's a big physical player with good feet and movement, and the thing that struck us about him is he's always finishing the play. He's the last guy getting up, he's the last guy moving on every play, and we're really impressed with how hard he plays. Zack Welch is an excellent running back out of Middletown, Maryland, at 5'11", 185 pounds. He's explosive and fast and has shown the ability to really run away from defenders, and what really made an impression upon our staff, even going back to last spring, watching his junior film, he was very, very difficult to tackle. Brendan Wharton is a tight end from Emmonsville, Maryland, at 6'2", 205 pounds. He's one of those hybrid type tight ends. We think we can use him in a number of ways. He may not always be an inline blocker as a tight end, but he is a guy that has the ability to move because he has good speed and good athleticism. And that is the class of 2013. Thank you. If there are any questions, I'll entertain them now. Kevin.
Coach, half the classes from the state of Maryland, is that a coincidence, or have you been concentrating more efforts on that area for recruiting?
This year, that was one of our focuses of concentrating on that area. We do think it's a very fertile football area, and we've had success bringing athletes in from that state in the past, and we felt it was very important for us to go back this year. In saying that, we did not go away from New Jersey, except that we just had a little bit more success in that area this year. Jeremy.
Once again, defensive back and linebacker will be the class. This is now 2 straight seasons for that. Do you feel that these 2 classes finally beat you on the added depth for those 2 positions?
Well, Jeremy, actually, it's the reverse of last year. Last year we were heavy in linebackers and only brought in 2 defensive backs. This year we only brought in 2 linebackers and a lot of defensive backs, 5. But to answer your question, and I think you're quite accurate, the aim in both years, or the combination of both years, was to improve depth in those positions, something that we felt we needed to do in an area where we felt we were lacking. So, your observation is correct, and in the last 2 years combined, that has been the emphasis. Yes. You have Tony. Well, if you've noticed the size of the receivers that we now play against, including our own, Neil Sterling's at 6'4". There were last year we played against 7 receivers who were 6'3" or better. And I think, you're getting bigger receivers, you need bigger defensive backs. That's not to say the 5'9" guys, 5'8" guys aren't going to be effective, because I think they will, but if you can get that combination of size with that desired skill, it's going to be an advantage for you. Yes, Fred. There's not a quarterback in this class that we signed, and we did sign 2 quarterbacks last year, both of whom redshirted, so we're a little heavy in the bottom of our existing classes with quarterbacks. We have 2 freshmen, a junior and a sophomore. And in prioritizing the scholarships that we had available this year, we had to put those scholarships into the position where we felt we had the greatest need. It wasn't that we weren't looking for one, but it didn't have quite the priority as some of the other positions, Fred. And it's still possible that we could pick up a quarterback here, before the end of the semester. Yes, Jeremy.
For the QB competition, which is obviously underway now, how much do the January and February off-season workouts play in your decision-making come September and August?
Are we moving away from recruiting day here, Jeremy? No, I'm only kidding. They play a big part of it, obviously. The evaluation process for the players within our program is year-round. It's ongoing. They're really working now to prepare themselves for the spring. The better they prepare themselves now, the better they'll hopefully be able to perform come spring ball when we can get them back on the field. And the football year is really divided into different blocks of time. You have the winter, which is where you train for the spring. In the spring, you get to go out on the field and perform. Then you have the summer to take yet another step in your physical preparation to train for August. Then when we get to preseason, we get a chance to go out on the field and perform again. All of these segments in time contribute to the evaluation process. So yes, it's extremely important. Go ahead.
Lavon Cheney does a lot of things. Where do you see him as a key?
Well, he's going to come in at the running back position, but he's somebody that we think can contribute on special teams. He can be effective in the pass game. By virtue of his speed and explosiveness, he brings a lot to the table, and we're excited about all those dimensions that he has. Kevin?
Coach, did you have to spend any extra time reassuring some of these players and families who might have been concerned with the status of the conference situation in the last 2 or 3 weeks, maybe?
We were extremely proactive in that. As soon as it was announced, one, that we were leaving the Northeast Conference in all sports except football, we made sure that we reached out in person to every one of our recruits and their families, told them that at the time we were applying for associate membership within the conference, and then when the news hit that we weren't going to go in that direction, we again got out in front of it and told them, we look at it as the glass is half full, Kev. We weren't going to be in the NEC, but bigger and better things would be on the horizon. We assured them of that, and they were all on board. Jeremy? Conference/schedule, yes/no. Okay. There's things that are in process on a daily basis, and we're diligent working, to find ourselves a conference for the future. I feel very positively that we will be successful in that endeavor. As far as the schedule is concerned, I could read off our schedule to you within about an hour if we wanted to, but we're not going to do that today. This is about the signing day. Sure, go ahead.
Of the 20, and I know it's very hard for a freshman to play at your level, and obviously some of these kids will be redshirt, but of the 20, how many do you think possibly can see the field next year?
That's always a difficult question, as you know, Kevin, because there are so many things, so many intangibles that go into how quickly a player plays. Let me say that, first, I believe that every one of them has the talent and the ability to play early in our program. And certainly if we've done, our job and our homework correctly, that will be the case. Oftentimes how quickly a player plays is dependent upon depth in a position, how injuries impact depth in a position, their maturity, their ability to adapt and make the transition from being a high school player to being a college player, their physical ability to come in at 18 and compete against guys who are 21 or 22. All of those things are very important factors in that transitional process. I can only say that this last year we had 5 freshmen who played, and that seems to be about the case every year. So I'm going to say about 5 will probably play. Jeremy.
As the focus of this country has turned towards concussions, have you seen as you guys have, head out and try to have players come through that, have you seen a change in parents' concerns because of head injuries, anything like that you've recruited?
Not really. Well, there's always a concern. I myself am a parent of a college football player. I'd be lying to say I was never concerned. I'm always concerned about each of the football players within our program. As a coaching staff here at Monmouth, we try to do a proactive job of making sure that we are teaching the proper technique. A lot of times that means breaking poor techniques that these young men may come in with. It's very important to protect the head, and we want to ensure that all the players here at Monmouth are utilizing proper techniques so that they can give themselves the best protection. Even having said that, you can't, in the game of football with the high-speed collisions and bodies coming from different directions, you can never totally eliminate that. But if you emphasize on utilizing proper technique, you do reduce, or you can help reduce, the incident of that happening. President Gaffney.
Coach, you mentioned this, the academic skill of this class. I think it's also fair to say that the academic skill of your team, existing team, in the last 2 years has been best in the conference. APR.
Correct.
Is that with you and your assistant recruiting talking with the students, is this something that's important to the parents?
I think it's very important, and I think when the parents visit our campus, they understand that academics and our value of academics isn't something that we just give lip service to. They have individual meetings with members of the faculty here. We lay out for them our academic support system that we have. And there are 3 things that are really important to us in the recruitment process. And when we look for a young man, first and foremost, we're looking for good people. We're looking for guys who are going to come to this campus, be a credit to this campus community, people who are going to make good decisions and be of good character no matter what environment they're in. The second thing is that they're academically motivated, that they truly understand the desire of a college degree, and they really have a plan for themselves, albeit they may not know exactly what shape it will take for 4 and 5 years down the line. And they have a family support structure that has those same values. And then the third thing we look for is athletic talent. People that can help make us become a better football program, and people that can help us sustain the success that we become accustomed to. The key thing is that we won't compromise number 1 and 2 for number 3. and we're going to make sure that we're getting good people and good students. And that is why, as you mentioned, we've had the highest APR in the conference for the last 2 years. We have a team grade point average of 3.0. Our graduation rate is at 98%. That's 226 out of 231 players that have come through this program. And that's information that we give to the parents. So I think they see the sincere interest in the academics that we have here, and that helps in the process. Thank you. Yep. Yes. No. With the student athletes that we recruit, we compete heavily with the Patriot League schools. That's first and foremost. Members of the Colonial Athletic Association or other schools that figure heavy into it. Members of the NEC, certain members of the NEC, I should say, we compete very heavily with. I would say those make up the core group of schools that are our #1 competition. Any other questions? Well, I think this is an outstanding class. As a coaching staff, we're extremely excited about having the opportunity to work with these young men. They're people that have the values that I described that are important to us in our recruitment, and they're going to make us not only a better university, but a better football program. I want to thank all of you for coming. I appreciate all of your support and all that you've done for us in this most recent recruiting effort. Thank you.